Show me that again. Spam light? Is that an oxymoron? What kind of spam can we get?
Yeah. Mild heart attack, severe heart attack.
Hey there, I'm Kevin. I'm a cook, cyclist, and dreamer. And this past summer I rode the Great Divide mountain bike route from Banff, Canada to the border of Mexico. Joining me was my South African friend Chad, who is a MacGyver of note and no slouch in the kitchen himself. Anyone who rides a divide will tell you that it's an eating contest. You just can't get enough food. In this episode, we're going to show you some of the meals that we cooked at campsites, as well as some of our favorite lunches, snacks, and restaurant finds along the divide. Our overall plan was to camp for 2/3 of the trip and stay in hotels or motels for the rest. And that's pretty much what we did. We made breakfast and dinner at almost all of the campsites, but treated ourselves to local restaurants when we could. Breakfast was usually oatmeal with a bunch of stuff thrown in it, dried fruit, nuts, honey, or whatever looked good in our rolling pantry. We'd hit up a diner whenever we could to skip the morning dishes. Chad was the coffee dog. He was always making it as soon as he got up.
Lunch break.
Lunch break. For lunches, we usually bought pre-made sandwiches at grocery stores or gas stations. Sometimes carrying the ingredients for the meals we wanted to cook was a challenge, but we repacked items into smaller containers and occasionally had to get creative stuffing things into our bikes.
Yeah. You didn't even take it out of the packaging.
Don't even take it out of the package. I wonder if I can still get it in. Let's just My favorite part of this day was, later when we stopped for lunch, we realized I had stepped on Chad's sandwich, not mine.
What you gotta do to make sure you got a little lunch for later.
When store-bought items weren't available, we'd just whip up a quick wrap with whatever we had.
Yay, that's going on tea.
That's veg, man. That's fiber.
Yeah. Fiber.
Salad on a tortilla. Holy cow.
Tell me what that is again.
This is tortilla with cheese, carrot,
Oh yeah, you still got pizza.
pepperoni, and tomato.
Told you can appreciate that.
Sopa Seca is a type of Mexican casserole. Even though Sopa Seca literally means dry soup, it's not actually a soup. The dish starts with a flavorful soupy mixture, but it cooks down to a rich casserole-like texture. There are various types, but ours is adapted for quick cooking and limited ingredients. First, we'll make a stock with bouillon cubes. Then we break thin spaghetti or angel hair into 1-inch pieces and toast them in olive oil for a nutty flavor. Next, we saute diced onions, tomatoes, and garlic, adding a Fresno or jalapeno pepper if we have one. And then we sprinkle in cumin, chili powder, S&P, and sometimes taco seasoning. Once the onions brown, we add the stock and toasted pasta, covering it with foil to simmer until the pasta absorbs most of the liquid. Near the end, we warm up a pre-cooked protein like canned chicken, summer sausage, or chorizo, and finally, we top it with shredded cheddar cheese and a squeeze of lime. This was our second time making this dish, and we made it many more times over the course of the trip. This particular cook was really special though, as our Trail Angel host, Wendy Hamper, shared the last items of her kitchen with us on her little RV deck. Chad and I camped in the trees behind Wendy's RV, but I'll talk more about the amazing hosts we encountered in our people episode. Be sure to check that out.
Good food, good people, great moments.
Great moment.
It's like brain freeze.
This is glacial water. This acclimatize.
There you go, fill it up.
Okay, so
There were many times we had to filter water for drinking and cooking. In the Great Basin of Wyoming, there are some long stretches between resupply points or places with water. The same was true of New Mexico. The rivers we drew from were gorgeous, and a couple of times we collected from wells, including the famous Diagonus Well in Wyoming.
I left it running for you, Kevin.
Just a pipe coming out of the ground with running water. 24/7, I guess. And a spectacular windmill near Grants, New Mexico. Filtering was the only option to guarantee that our water was drinkable.
What is the thing? 20,000 or something?
Had a stop sign tattooed under your arm. That didn't stop me from getting you to the bar.
All right.
Okay, good to go.
Ready for wild camping.
And so was I. She stopped right there.
When it came to on-the-bike snacking, we mostly ate store-bought energy bars. But I was hoping to make sticky rice cake Bikebites often. They're easy to make, but they do take some time. Most of it's inactive, and you do need a lot of water. So I made them only once in camp and twice in hostels where we had access to a kitchen. Still, I worked out a technique for making these portables at camp, and here's that process.
Well, we're going to make sticky rice cakes, portables, basically. And I also call them Bikebites. And they basically made with sushi rice. This recipe that I like to make, it's got espresso. We've got camp espresso, which is instant coffee. A little bit of lemon juice. I'll scrape some lemon zest into it as well.
Okay.
Put some chocolate chips in there, a little salt, a little sugar. But we've got to prep the rice. It's got to be rinsed. It's not have anything still on it. Then we're going to soak it with 3% hydrogen peroxide solution to kill any Bacillus cereus out of it. And then cook it as normal. Put it all together. That's it for blending. Now I just push it into a Ziploc bag and press it and let it set. And then you can push it back out of the Ziploc bag and cut it into bars.
Even more so if it's full of things.
Ready to ride. Ready to fuel. The pros and cons of making these portables while camping. The cons are, first of all, you need a lot of water. So if you're prepared to carry a lot, or you're camping at a place that has a lot, like we do now, that's good. But you're going to need a lot of water. And the second thing is, even though it's really easy, there's not a lot of active time, you need time. So if you come to camp tired, you got to pitch your tent, you got to put all your other stuff together, you maybe make a meal, whatever it is. If you're probably not going to want to do this if you don't have the time. The positives, the upside to it, of course, is what we all know. These things are fantastic nutrition on the bike. They're really great for giving you what you need while you're riding, giving you good carbs. They're loaded with hydration, so they're super easy to digest, and they're one of the best things for riding a bike. I mean, it's whole food, it's not processed stuff. It's exactly what you need when you're riding. So it's worth it if you have the time and the water.
Hey, not every meal had a starch. Even though we used pasta, potatoes, and rice with most dishes, we sometimes used a different filling. In this one, we used black beans as the base and added tomatoes, onions, garlic, cumin, and lime juice. For the protein, we added garlic summer sausage. It was a nice change from having a regular starch. We made it a couple of times, and it was always a winner.
And this is something new to me. I mean, black beans as a base for a meal.
Love
Absolutely
black beans.
marvelous. And we live off potatoes and rice or pasta.
And it's finally
This is
something
good,
else,
yeah,
right?
that's marvelous.
Cool. We're at Brush Mountain Lodge, actually,
Yeah.
which is great, and we've got the bunkhouse, which has a kitchen and burners and all that sort of stuff. So this is a pozole that I make all the time. Love it. Got to sort of riff with certain things because we can't get, like fresh chicken and stuff like that. So we've got some pre-cooked, sealed in a bag chicken strips that are totally going to do the job. But basically, this pozole is made with chayote, onions, white hominy. We've got tomatoes, cilantro, garlic, a jalapeno pepper. Going to get a bit of tomato paste to make it more rich towards the end. And there's a Latin spice that I use all the time that has paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, a whole bunch of other things. A little chili powder as well. And it's really cool. We use it I use it on chicken, I use it on all kinds of stuff. But first what we're going to do is saute the veg, get it a little bit soft. Onions to sweat a bit. Sauteing is done And the onion's soft. The chayote stays fairly firm. It gives it a nice bite. So then we're going to add the chicken stock and the other stuff and just let it simmer. And the last thing, of course, is the chicken. I'm going to let this simmer for a bit. It's a yes? Okay, cool.
Nice spicy broth, yeah.
Yeah. And the chayote, it's still got a little firmness to it, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you'll get a little pepper every once in a
Watch out the
while.
back of your throat, yeah.
These flatbreads are pretty cool. They're a riff on a Turkish gözleme, which are like stuffed turnovers. We use flour tortillas to hold them filling, and then fold them into envelopes before toasting them in a pan. You can fill them with just about anything, but we basically use the same black bean and sausage mixture, changing up the spices and adding cheese and radishes. It was fantastic.
After this, all just going to fall apart.
Oh yeah, there's that cut. Oh yeah, I found it. This is what it should look like. If I had some green, would be great, like a cilantro, coriander.
Yeah. Fresh, yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah.
But we don't have. What are you thinking?
I like the crispy edges, yeah. Very, very good. It's almost buttery.
Almost buttery. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I love Mexico.
You are going to love Mexico. You cannot believe how much you're going to love Mexico. I love Mexican food. Chad actually cooked more than I did, and he made some really great meals. But my absolute favorite is this sausage and peppers bowl with a couscous base. It's pretty simple. Basically, you saute some veg, including onions, garlic, and peppers of various colors, and then add some chorizo, smoked or summer sausage, and then combine that with a pot of couscous. Every time Chad made it, he'd change it up with ginger or different spices. He first made it for me on our test ride in South Africa, and I made sure to ask for it often on the Divide ride. It was delicious. You want to know? Yeah. Delicious. Would you have again? Of course. All right, so Walgreens. This is the tub we bought.
This
It's the size of the freezer,
is the size of the freezer.
and it ain't going in.
It is now.
So now it is, because this is what Chad did. Chad did this. Open that up again. That's friggin' hysterical. And chocolate chip. Let me see that one more time. That's fantastic.
Any suggestions? I need to make it in.
And then this is just the
Well, this wouldn't
appetizer,
fit in
right?
there,
Yeah, an
so we're
appetizer.
gonna have to
It's
just eat
okay.
this now.
All right, cheers. Ready?
Cheers.
Cool. Thanks.
I love when these things don't fit.
Well, besides the fun we had trying to be creative with our camp meals with whatever ingredients we could find, we often ate at some great restaurants. I mean, there were definitely some dive stops, but there were also some fabulous places, and here are just a few. Animal TV. I like them. Hey, look at you. it. Fancy meeting you here. The pie ladies. And their magic hands. Sure, these babies. Mine is lemon chess, which is a type of buttermilk, a southern type of buttermilk.
Kind of. I like halfway remember.
Let's move right in on this, man. You know, these restaurants were great, but bike packers, backpackers, and hikers will tell you that any food you have in the outdoors is just elevated. It just tastes better in the outdoors. And if you make it, it tastes even better. It's like anything on your barbecue or braai is better than it is cooked in your kitchen. Don't be afraid to cook for yourself outdoors. Don't be afraid to just riff. Just find the stuff in the grocery store or the convenience store and then put it together. Cook it up. You're gonna love whatever you make.